start with kind of our problem of practice, what we're seeing that we're having difficulty with students. So we've all kind of talked about the fact that from our students with disabilities to our students who are some of our honor students, that we're still seeing students that are struggling with articulating their thinking. So if you guys, we'll each go one at a time, but just talk about some of your evidence-based strategies that you're using, what you're finding that's successful, maybe some difficulties that we're seeing. We're going to kind of brainstorm together what we're doing that's working, and then what we might need to adjust.
Okay.
Okay. And I'll take notes.
Okay, should I start?
Sure, if you don't mind. Thank you.
Sure. I use graphic organizers with my students. I think this helps them break up their thinking and provide details in their writing.
Okay.
I think that my students really have a hard time organizing their thoughts.
Okay.
So this really helps them organize their thoughts before they actually write. So I might have them, start with a graphic organizer where they're just listing the topics and then breaking those subtopics into details.
Okay, so subtopic.
And then we move on to graphic organizers to help them with the actual paragraph writing.
Okay. Is this something similar that you're doing with your 6th grade?
Yeah, we do. We like to use the graphic organizers to get their thoughts together. And then we also use the exemplar text and model how to kind of dig into the prompt and then break it down so that they can have a text where they can look at and get ideas to see what the end goal is. And this helps having a model for them to refer to.
Okay. And how are we, so both of you are using that. How successful do you feel like just what you're doing right now is working for them?
I think it's working. It's helping them get more thoughts down in a logical order, and helps them to really answer all parts to the prompt by seeing how it was answered in an exemplar text as well.
And I think that's really important for kids with special needs too, is to have that text to look back at, and so that they can take their anecdotal notes and they can underline and highlight to help them with the writing process also.
And finding the details to put in.
I'm going to add that to yours and to both yours. So based on what we're talking about and how they're doing with their writing, are there things that we could be adding, taking away, spending more time in?
Well, I think the idea of the exemplar text is important because in order to, especially when you're dealing with a rubric-based writing system and just grading in general, they need to really see what a 4 looks like. They need to see what a 3 looks like. They need to really get an idea and a feel for, this is not just something that's kind of like up in the air, it's more concrete when they can see it as an exemplar text, if they even have it, a copy of it with them, or if they have it up on the screen and can refer back to it. There's definitely a lot of evidence that says that students benefit in their writing has better quality if they know what they're kind of aiming for.
So seeing that really strong example helps guide them
like what does that look like?
Right, right, because I think otherwise this idea that somehow good writers magically kind of end up with a 3 or 4 by accident.
On grade level standard, or like a 3 or 4, right?
Exactly, because I think that when they can see it, they know that it didn't happen by accident. It had actual parts that some people need to work a little bit harder to be able to think about what those parts are and include those in their own writing versus just kind of hoping it comes out okay when they get it on paper. So in addition to the graphic organizers, that's kind of the beginning, we all kind of start with some type of organization. And then you can kind of go into like what the modeling of it and the good exemplar text looks like.
And is it going to look different for like different levels, being able to, who need more scaffolding? Like, do you feel like there's more that you're going to have to give in the process versus as a general education teacher, you might feel that you're going to have to pull back, as you're progressing versus you might be getting more support throughout?
Well, I think something that Ellen mentioned earlier too was that she uses she recommends us using a lot of sentence frames to help to get their thoughts on paper.
Well, and I know that we have some in our actual curriculum as well. Like I know that I've seen that in the classroom where you guys are pulling it up actually from the curriculum itself.